Hey y'all, Mike here with Raider Dog Ranch. Today we're going to be reviewing the Gerber Prodigy fixed blade knife. This knife, as with all Gerbers, is made in the USA in Portland. It has the friction grip that keeps it in there. You can tell this is made in the USA. The drop point blade, it comes with a sheath that does have the friction lock. Very strong. Yeah, it takes a little force to get it out. If I was to dangle it, it will not come out. It also comes with these two straps, the snap-in straps. So when all of that is in place, it is very secure. It is definitely not going to come out. You're not going to lose it on the trail or in the outback, wherever you're using it. The sheath is a standard sheath that does come with the MOLLE attachment, so you can attach that to a backpack or any other MOLLE riggings. It also has a belt loop here, or you can put it on the snap behind the belt loop. And it comes with a leg strap, so if you wanted to do a drop leg arrangement, you could put that through the bottom of the sheath here. Opens up, nice little tight fit. There's a little bit of Velcro in here, and also there's Velcro on this side, so wherever you decide to attach that when it goes through here, it would stay nice and secure. We'll take a look at that on the body here in a little bit. This blade does come with a lifetime warranty. I've had this knife for a few months now. You can see there's a little bit of wear on it, but it really is holding up pretty well. It's got a rigid back. It is a full-length Tang. It's very comfortable in the hand. It's got very good balance. The grips, whether you use a thumb or a closed hand, both very comfortable. I'm an average size guy, so I would imagine if you had big hands, it would start to get a little small in your hand because I can wrap fully around it. And one of the things that some people don't like about this is the grip. So it is a rubber grip. You can see this one is the Coyote grip. This is a ceramic coated blade to prevent it from rusting. But the grip it's very comfortable, but I understand if people would prefer to have, you know, a wooden grip or something more traditional. It's got a nice sharp edge on the back here for tactical or glass breakage, whatever you need. Also, a lot of people will attach a lanyard here. That's a good idea to put maybe a high-vis cord, some paracord here, so that if you do drop this in the leaves or the grass, it would be pretty easy to identify maybe when visibility is not good. So that's a good idea, and it's always a good idea to have some extra paracord anywhere you can attach it. The length of the blade, or the length of the entire thing, is 9 3/4 inches, and it weighs about 7 ounces. So very light, like I said, very well balanced. You can see the blade is about 4.5 inches, a little more, 4 3/4. And like I said, the full length of it is 9 3/4 inches. As fixed blade knives go, especially ones that are made in the United States, this is a very affordable knife. This one's available in a partially serrated edge or a straight edge. For a survival knife, I prefer the straight edge, but both are available. This knife is under $100 and can be picked up at most outdoor stores. As I mentioned, this is a full Tang. The steel is a 420 HC American steel, so that's usually in a pretty good category that it's not too hard to sharpen, but it also won't keep an edge forever. That's sort of the balance you usually have with blade steel, is either the harder you get, the better edge it keeps, but the harder it is to sharpen. The softer it gets, the less it'll keep a blade or an edge, but the easier it is to sharpen. So I've only sharpened this one once so far. Didn't have any problem with it. Was a fairly easy knife to sharpen. The knife does have a 90-degree spine, so it makes it really good for shredding tinder or striking a ferro rod. You can see it does a really good job at that. And this is a really cheap ferro rod. So this isn't feathering, but it does a really good job because of this rigid spine. This is a piece of bamboo, and if you just run it on that bamboo, you can start getting these really nice shavings for a fire starter. It feathers really nicely. This is oak, so it's not the best thing to feather with. But you can see it makes pretty quick work of that. Notice I like to have my thumb kind of a power grip there. This is less comfortable to me, but so when it comes to batoning, I don't know if it's me or the product, but I started with, a pretty healthy sized piece of wood, probably 3 or 4 inches across. But you can see because of the size of the blade, it keeps wanting to inch back this way, so you lose the edge that you can hit down on. So it really is pretty hard to split a piece of wood this size. But if you're just trying to create some kindling or some small product, it's pretty easy to baton some of the smaller wood like this. So you can keep doing that and create some good kindling fire starter. But you might need a bigger blade if you're going to plan on batoning, decent sized branches if you're really going to cut those down. Here's the sheath, just using a belt loop. There's nothing holding it on the bottom, but obviously it is very secure because this is stitched and there's no way for that to come out. And again, the knife is very secure. There's no way with both snaps and the friction clip. So that's one thing that I have a little trouble with this specific version. These 2 clips are probably a bit much. It takes a little bit to get them out. I mean, I guess it's a give and take. If you've got both of them snapped, you're very secure. You're not going to go anywhere. Some of the other Gerber models, like the Strong Arm and the LMR, only have 1 clip here, and they do kind of get in the way a little bit. If you're trying to get to the knife quickly, that is not the easiest thing to fight through. And because this friction clip is so handy, you might even choose to keep those back. I don't know if they would stay like this, but if you kind of fold them back into the sheath itself, if you know you're going to be working with it a lot during the day, that might be a little easier way to carry it. And here it is with the drop leg attachment firmly secured to the leg. It's not going to move anywhere. It does run a little high on the crotch. And again, I'm a little under average size. I'm about 5'9". Do not have big quads, and this, you can see, this is adjusted out with this much room left. If you have big thighs, this is I don't think you're going to be able to use this. I don't see how you could. That's just not enough room for you to get around and click into that without cutting off circulation into your leg. I've never used a drop attachment. I've only used the belt clip, so probably not a big deal for me, but if that's something that you were interested in, I would probably give that one a mark against this, that it needs a bigger thigh strap to go around. Overall, I would say for a good sized, average sized survival knife, it's not too big, it's not too small, it's pretty handy for most small bushcraft. I would think you would need a saw to go along with this because it's not going to do any heavy duty chopping or cutting. But for smaller jobs, it's a really good size. It fits in the hand really well. Overall, I really like the feel of the knife. The only negatives that I think I would give it are really in the sheath, not in the knife. It's this dual latch system here. It's overkill. All you need is this one up top. I may just take the stitching out and leave this one, just take it off, because it's really not that functional. So you would still have the friction clip here as well as this. I think that's plenty. The other negative that I would give it related to the sheath is this drop attachment that goes around the thigh. It's just not big enough. So again, overall, I'm really happy with it. It came with a pretty sharp edge on it. That HC 420 steel seems to be a good steel. I'm no expert on the different blade types. I know there's a bunch out there. I haven't compared it against some of the other knives, but for my knife, this is kind of an intro survival knife. I'm really happy with it. I haven't found any major flaws in it, and I would recommend it as a first-time knife to not put too much money into it. The other thing that I'll mention about the sheath, there's this Velcro. Notice the sheath is not made in America. Maybe that's where all the issues are. So even if you take this out, it doesn't detach the sheath from the belt. There's these two little screws hold it in right here. So you would have to have tools to take it off here, and then it's also still, this loop up here is sewn in. So you could flip it over, but you can't do anything. Maybe you could hold a ferro rod in here. That's the only thing that makes sense to me for what would happen here. Maybe you could hold a ferro rod or something else, but it's really not, I mean, there's not like there's a lot of slack in here under this Velcro to hold anything. Final thoughts. I think it's a really good knife. I think it's a poorly designed sheath, but you could always use a different sheath, or you could modify this one a little bit to make it fit your needs. For the price, I think this is one of the better entry-level knives that you can use for survival and bushcraft. If you're new here, thanks for joining us. If you like the content here, we would love it if you would smash that like button, and it would help us out a lot if you would subscribe to the channel, and you can get more content like this.